TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What are your thoughts on Rick Steiner and Sting when they were a tag team in WWF? What are your memories of them together? And the Ultimate Warrior when he came in with Sting as Bladerunners.
Yeah. Actually, I hired them. Bill Watts brought me back from when I went to Charlotte. He said, I'd like you to book. And I didn't know how to book, but I had been studying for the however long it had been, like 5 years. And I had written down every finish I ever saw, every angle.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I knew that when I would drive, Dundee would be sitting next to me in the car, and he would be trying to figure out how to make these finishes where it's like a roller coaster, right? Where you think this is going to happen. Whoa, then this happens. And Pat Patterson does it now in the WWF, and it's incredible. I am a huge mark for Pat Patterson because he can make people think all these different things are going to happen, and right before you get what it is, boom, something else that you don't expect. Right. I just sit there. I don't try to figure it out anymore. I just enjoy the ride because Pat is so good at making things. I wish I could do that. I wish I had that skill. But why first question?
We're talking about Sting, Steiner, and Warrior.
I hired Sting and Warrior. Dundee had called me when he was in Tennessee and said, no, somebody called and said, we got these two big kids that we've done everything we can do with. Do you want them? I said, sure. I asked Bill, do you want them? He goes, okay. Well, he came in, Ultimate Warrior was 290. His back was this wide, black lipstick, black eyes, black mouthpiece, Couldn't do a whole lot, but they were so impressive. And, Sting was a better athlete, but the Warrior had like that huge size and that mean look and stuff. And they tagged up a little bit, and they were good. And then, they learned, and Rick Steiner came in, and I got to work at his first 6-month program. Huh. That first Steiner line, if I had brain damage, it started there. I have never been hit harder, more often, or launched like I was with him. People have no idea how strong Rick Steiner is. Sting, for that matter. I mean, there were guys out there, Dr. Death. They could have killed me at any game. I got to be tough.
Right.
The ass kickings I took from all those guys before they figured out wrestling wasn't real. I mean, Steiner was this national ranked amateur guy, so was Dr. Death. They come in and they say, okay, this guy that weighs 100 pounds less than you, that's, looks like a human marshmallow, he's going to beat you. It's going to take you 7 minutes.
Huh.
Okay. They did what, and they weren't bad about it. It's just there's a process of growing and learning that this is not real. And Steiner was good about it. So was Doc. It's just they knew they could do these certain things and they were good at it and they wanted to show how good they were. I just happened to be on the receiving end of a lot of it.
What are your thoughts on the Ultimate Warrior back then? How did he change from when you first worked with him in Mid-South? Or did he not change at all as far as work?
No. I mean, the work part of it's, who cares? I mean, he did what he did, and he got over. The big man believed in him and all that. The story about the Ultimate Warrior and I, when I went to the WWF, I don't know which time, it might have been the second time, but he was like the world champion. When we were in Louisiana, Sting came to our house, and he and the Warrior and Warrior's wife split Sting's car, and they had, they stayed in the same apartment building, and there was a lot of personality conflicts because they were broke and they were having a hard time. So Sting would stay at our house sometime. They went to Hassel's apartment. And he said, you know what, the Warrior's leaving. Bill Watts didn't pay us right or something. He's leaving and going to Texas, and he wants me to go. I don't want to go. I said, okay. He says, what do I do? I said, if you don't want to go, don't go. He goes, yeah, but, team, and we came in this together, and, he counts on me and all that. And I said, well, if you two are a team, you would have talked about going and, if you would have made a decision together. I said, if you want to stay and he wants to go, let him go, you stay. And if you guys decide, you want to get back together, okay, you can do that. Why don't you see what happens? So Warrior left, Sting didn't. Well, I found out later when I got to the WWF, everybody was mean to me, especially like Dynamite and all those guys. And Warrior wouldn't speak to me, and he was the world champion. So up there, if the world champion doesn't talk to you, and Dynamite and all these upper guys don't talk, nobody else is going to because they don't want to piss the top guys off. So finally, one time we're in San Francisco. I walk up to Warrior. Okay, because this is my personality. What's going on? You're an asshole. I'm an asshole. I said nothing to you since I've been here. You've given me attitude, and the whole place is pissed off at me because of you. What's the deal? And he said, you broke me and Sting up. I said, I did. And he said, yeah, we could have been partners, da-da-da-da. And I said, Jim. And he goes, Warrior. Warrior. you're the world champion here, right? He goes, yeah. I said, Sting's the world champion in the other company, right? He said, yeah. I said, shouldn't you be thanking me? Because you might have still been mired in mediocrity in Texas if you'd have still been together. The way things worked out because of the decision Sting made, because of my advice, you two were the prospective top guys in each company. How can you be mad at me? You are on top of the world. You're still an asshole. Okay. And then after that, I think he had to say that. And then after that, we were fine.
Right.
Yeah, it took a while, but he was fine. And we got along fine after that.
Was he strange outside the ring? Because I've heard many stories.
Quiet.
Different type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, in this business, because we work so hard together and all that, you find somebody you can stand or they can stand you, and you kind of huddle up because there are strong personalities and everybody's got a family and they all have their own problems. And if there's somebody that you can hang out with and not strangle each other, you cling to them. And he and I didn't really cling to each other. He kind of went his own way.
Now, as far as Bill Watts goes, how did you see him change from when you first started working for him and as UWF got bigger before it went out of business? Did his ego change? Or his personality was the same old Bill Watts?
Bill is Bill. He was very strong-willed, and he knew what he wanted, and he believed in his knowledge, and he believed in his methods. And I didn't see anything change.
Did you think he was going to be able to compete with the World Wrestling Federation at the time?
Absolutely. We believed in what we did. Right. We were in that locker room, and we worked hard, and I believed in Magnum, and Magnum believed in me, and Ricky Morton believed in the guy next to him, and we stacked our team up against anybody.
What are your memories of Shane Douglas? Because he was back there.
Shane was this baby, just complete, beautiful complexion, young guy who is, and still is, respectful and knowledgeable. Yes, sir. No, sir. I'm Terry Taylor. I'm not a sir. I was just one of the guys, and he would, I had a little program with him, and he was just great to work with. Anything we wanted to do, he was fine with, worked hard, and was a student. You knew he was going to be wherever you needed him to be.
All right. Did you ever want to step back inside the ring and wrestle again, or did you enjoy your role behind the scenes?
Yes and yes. I would if it was somebody like Ricky Steamboat or Flair or some young guy that would listen, that wants to learn how to make the people feel instead of just have them knee-jerk react to big bumps. And this is, you didn't ask this, but the philosophy anymore, in my opinion, not that anybody cares, but it's like acting. In the movies, there are no great actors anymore. There isn't somebody that can take a whole scene by themselves and through their body language and inflection and their movements and performance make people feel. It's gone to Broken Arrow, where they steal nuclear weapons and computer-generated explosions and Jackie Chan's jumping from building to building. It isn't acting. It's a stunt show that's just overdone by either technology or anything but the pure form of what it was, which was performance by a human being putting himself in a role.
TitleMatchNetwork.com